good show for me. That was my one pandemic show. So, okay. So I'm on the phone with the 911 operator. I hear my mother yelling from the bedroom, "Get your hands off of me. Why are you taking my clothes off? Stop taking my clothes off." And she starts hitting and slapping this man. And that man is my father. And the 911 operator says to me, "She might become a little agitated." So what had happened was, it was spring break 2001. I'm 20, I'm home from college, not exactly home. We went to Pagosa Springs, and we had traveled from Houston, Texas. My dad had a huge work project due that week, so he needed to bring a printer, and we couldn't fly with a printer, so we drove from Houston. We rented a van, and my dad is a workaholic, but it paid the bills, so I'm not complaining. So we drove this van up to Pagosa Springs. It was the last day of our vacation. The project was due the next day, so we thought we'd give my dad some space, let him work at the timeshare alone, and my mom and my brother and I'm 20, my brother's 16, and my mom she's mom age. There's no age, it's just sort of older than me, ageless age. And I'm kid. I'm not really 20. I'm just a kid because I'm around my mom, right? So I'm in kid mode. She's in adult mode, and we go to this hill to go sledding. And we'd not been on this hill before, so we wanted to make sure it was safe. We weren't sure, how far up the hill I should go, the way I don't pick up too much speed. So I figured, well, between me and my brother, I'm the older one, which means I'm the braver one, which means I'm the better one. So I go first, and I'm going down the hill. I'm definitely picking up a lot of speed. My mom is at the bottom of the hill, not paying attention to me. And I thought for sure she's gonna pay attention. She's gonna look over at some point. No, she's gazing off to the left, just looking over here. I don't know what's going on. I'm barreling down the hill. At this point, I'm like, surely she's gonna look over and see me. It didn't occur to me to say something. So I just run right into her. My brother said that from his perspective, it looked like some sort of over-exaggerated stunt on a cartoon where I hit her legs and she flies up parallel to the ground, just flips over and then lands right on her head on the frozen ground.
Wow.
So she's lying like this on the ground. I am hysterical laughing because, nothing's more funny than watching a family member splat, right? It's completely hilarious. So I'm trying to catch my breath, trying to, are you okay, while I'm laughing hysterically. So we pick her up, there's no blood, I guess she's got a little bump or whatever. So she says, "Where's Dad?" And I go, "Oh, he's at the condo." "Oh, okay. Well, what happened?" I go, "Oh, you weren't paying attention. That's what happened. I was coming down the hill and I clipped you and you hit your head on the ground." And she goes, "Oh, okay. Well, where's Dad?" And I'm like, "He's at the condo." "Oh, okay. How long have I been out?" I go, "You haven't been out at all. You're not unconscious. Everything's fine." "Well, what happened?" "I was sledding down the hill and ran into you and you hit the ground." "Oh, well, where's Dad?" So I'm like, oh shit. So then I don't have a phone on me. It's 2001. You only need a phone for emergencies, and I wasn't expecting an emergency, so I didn't have my phone on me. So fortunately, because it's 2001, I still have my dad's phone number memorized. So this guy's like, "Do you need to borrow my cell phone?" I think that's a great idea. So I have no idea where I am. I'm in kid mode, right? I'm not paying attention to where we are. I don't know how we got there. So I call my dad. He gives me directions over the phone, nowhere to write them down. So I'm just trying to store them in my brain while my mother's brain is absolutely not working. So I'm driving back home, trying to remember all the turns that he's telling me to do. In the meantime, my mom's like, so where's Dad?" "He's at the condo." "Is that where we're going?" "Yes." "Well, whose car is this?" "This is a rental car." "Well, why are you driving?" "Because you hit your head." "How did I hit my head?" "I was sledding and I ran into you." "Dawn, you did this to me?" "Yeah." "Oh, well, where's Dad?"
Wow.
"He's at the condo." "Well, whose car is this?" "This is a rental car." "Well, why are you driving?" "Because you hit your head." "How did I hit my head?" I was sledding and I ran into you. Dawn, you did this to me? And so it went. About every 30 seconds, I hear this, how long have I been out? And that's when we knew it was reset. And then what happened? Can somebody tell me what happened? Because we got a little tired of telling her what happened. Every 30 seconds, I realized this lasted for 11 hours the first night, so that was actually over 1,000, about 1,300 times. She asked us what happened. So we get to the condo, and we're like, we need to go to the emergency room because she doesn't remember shit. So my dad's trying to take her snow pants off. That's when I call 911 operator. She's like, yeah, your mom might be getting a little agitated. I'm like, yeah, definitely. Is there a way we can give her sleeping pills or something just to knock her out? Because we couldn't just go to the emergency room in Pagosa Springs. We had to go to Durango, which is over an hour away. And I know what a 10-minute car ride was like, and that was crazy. So I can't imagine over an hour. So I'm like, we definitely got to knock her out, like for sure. And they're like, no, she needs to stay awake because her brain might be bleeding. So I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, so then I need to, there we go. So then we're in the car. My dad puts the emergency flashers on because I'm like, we gotta go like 90 miles an hour. I want to get her to the emergency room. I'm thinking if we just get her to the emergency room, they can like fix her head somehow, make her brain stop swelling, and then she'll remember everything, and then everything will be fine. So she keeps turning off the emergency flashers. My dad keeps turning them back on again. And she's like, why are you turning on the flashers? Because we gotta go to the hospital. Why do we have to go to the hospital? Because you hit your head. How did I hit my head? We're like, Dawn was sledding and she ran into you. Dawn, you did this to me? Yeah. Yeah. So then we got a little tired of telling her what happened. So I'm like, I know, I'll write it down. So I wrote it down on a piece of paper. And then she'd be like, why are we going to the hospital? Because you hit your head. How did I hit my head? Read the paper. That tells you everything. So then we have a few seconds of complete quiet. And then I hear, Dawn, you did this to me? Yeah. Oh, okay. And then she'd say, well, how long have I been out? You haven't been out at all. You've been conscious the whole time. Well, what happened? Read the paper. I already read this paper. So we're like, write it on the other side. So I wrote it on the other side. So then the next time she said, I already read this paper, I go, flip it over. Oh, okay. Dawn, you did this to me? It was sort of like Groundhog Day where we sort of learned how to like navigate the questions so that we had to do as least amount of work as possible, which, you know, so you figure an hour drive, that's only about 100 times of asking what happened. That's not so bad, right? So 100 times asking what happened. So we're now in the emergency room, waiting room. So I'm like, we gotta be really quiet. No talking. So then my mom's like, okay. So my dad, by the way, is on the other side of the emergency room because he's gotta get work done. And so he's waited till the last minute, he's cramming. Me and my brother are taking turns. Oh, you wanna know what happened? Talk to David. You wanna know what happened? Talk to Dawn, she'll tell you, right? So we just kept like, you know, putting her off, and we'd be like, oh, read the paper. You know, we just sort of mix it up. Then, being really quiet, she leans over, Dawn, yeah? How long have I been out? Read the paper. Oh, okay. Hey, Dawn, we gotta be quiet. We need to be quiet right now. We're in the waiting room. Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Dawn, yeah? How long have I been out? Read the paper. Okay, so then there's this person, very androgynous looking person, long straggly hair, very leathery skin. They get up and go to the bathroom. My mom leans over. We don't see what bathroom they go into. My mom leans over and says, is that a man or a woman? And I go, I honestly don't know. 2 minutes later, the person comes back, sits down. My mom leans over, Dawn, is that a man or a woman? I'm like, I don't know. Hey, Dawn, yeah, how long have I been out? Read the paper. So then this goes on and on and on. She gets called into the room, and I get 30 minutes of peace and quiet, uninterrupted. It was amazing. I'm sure it feels like Tony P's mom with the 3-year-old twins and the 1-year-old. I mean, that's what it felt like. It was like I had peace in the bathroom. That's like that moment where it's just you alone with your thoughts, no annoying 4-year-old asking 1,000 questions, because that was my mom. So then then they're in the doctor's office. The doctor says, what year is it? 1993. Who's the president? Ronald Reagan. So we're doing good. Everything's great. The doctor leaves, comes back a couple minutes later. My mom says, who are you? He goes, you don't remember me? No, I'm your doctor. We already had a conversation. Really? What did I say? What did you say? You took off all your clothes and ran around naked. I can't believe this guy fucked with her like that, because I was so angry at him. I never met the guy, but I'm still angry at him, because the entire ride home, my mom would say, did I embarrass myself? Did I embarrass myself? When we told her she went to the hospital, that was all she remembered. Did I embarrass myself? I mean, she must have asked that 100 times. Right? Every 30 seconds we're resetting, okay? So then the other loop that she would get into on the way home, when we told her that she went to the hospital, she goes, we don't have insurance. My dad goes, yes, we have insurance. No, we don't. You don't have a job. Yes, I have a job. I'm consulting. That's not a real job. My mom must have said that easily 50 times. And my dad, fortunately, had a really good sense of humor about it and thought it was hilarious. I would have been like, completely resentful if I was my father, especially the amount of work that I was doing. And so anyway, we get home. He goes back into trying to work at the kitchen table. In the meantime, my mom is like, why won't you tell me what happened? Will somebody just tell me what happened? We tell you what happened. You forget what happens. We've already told you many times. Well, why can't you just tell me again? Because we've told you so many times and you're just gonna forget. Well, why would I forget? Because you had a concussion. Well, how come I have a concussion? Because you hit your head. Well, how did I hit my head? It doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter. I just wanna know what happened. Why can't somebody tell me what happened? Why can't you tell me what happened? Dawn, why don't you tell her what happened? And so we just keep handing her off to each other. Finally, I told my dad, I'm like, I cannot deal with her anymore. I've been working, trying to keep my father away from her so that way he could work, but I couldn't anymore. It was too much. So he called his boss. He said, we got to put the project on hold. And then I was like, I'm taking a break. So then I go upstairs, I put my headphones in. I'm just trying to tone out, because at this point, like, I've completely lost my mother, and I don't know if and when she's coming back. I mean, she's turned into this like 4-year-old that just keeps asking questions and relentlessly, and will not leave anybody alone for a second, because she just wants to know what happened, and why won't anybody tell her what happened? So then, and she's desperate. She goes through the whole range of emotions: crying, angry, furious, sad, depressed. We, by the way, went through all of the same emotions. I mean, like, I was so furious with her, wishing that I had knocked her out at this point. And I mean, at one point, she's crying in the middle of the like downstairs. We just left her there. We're like, it's like a kid that you just leave crying in the crib. You're like, at least she's not asking questions right now. It'll give us a break. I mean, we were terrible, we were horrible, but it was like we were at our wits' end. So at one point, we're just trying to keep her emotions like as low key as possible. So what we realized was what not to do. So what you don't do. When my mom got home, she saw that it was snowing outside, and she goes, are we in Massanutten? Massanutten was this place in the Appalachians that we used to go when we lived in Maryland, and we'd go there every year for Christmas. And so it was a timeshare, which looked like this timeshare, just like all hotel rooms look the same. So she thought we were in Massanutten and it was Christmas time. We go, no, it's not Christmas time, it's spring break. And she goes, it's spring break? So I missed Christmas? No, you didn't miss Christmas. Did I get you gifts? Yes, you got us gifts. Did I get you stockings? Yes, you got us stockings. I got all of you stockings. Yes, you got all of us stockings. Well, what about Valentine's Day? Did I get you chocolate? Yes, you got us chocolate. I got all of you chocolate? Yes, you got us all chocolate. Well, what about Easter baskets? It's not Easter yet. Oh, thank God. Like, my mom was so worried. Like, that's what I thought was really cute, was like, that's what she was so like preoccupied with. Not that she like lost 3 months of her life, even though that makes no sense, but whatever. So then we just told her, yes, it's Christmas. Yes, it's Massanutten. Oh, and then the other mistake that we made was telling her that we had been on vacation for a week, because then she wanted to know, well, what had we done? And we thought maybe we could jog her memory. No, it doesn't work that way. So I told her, oh, we went on a hot air balloon ride. So then she started wailing because she couldn't remember the hot air balloon ride at all. And she's like, I don't know why I can't remember. So we're like, okay, note to self, no hot air balloon ride. So then when we said that we're on vacation, she goes, well, what have we done? Absolutely nothing. We've been watching TV the whole time. It's been very boring. We've done nothing. That's it. And so we just sort of learned to keep her as calm as possible. So my dad, because this was the last day of our vacation, we had nothing, really hardly anything in the fridge. The plan was to go to dinner that night. And my dad still thinks we can go out to dinner. I'm like, are you insane? There's no way we can take her out in this condition. Like, first of all, I'm gonna lose my shit in front of a lot of people. I don't want that to happen, right? So we're like, okay, let's stay in the house. So we just kind of scrape together whatever leftovers we had. So my dad's eating tacos, I'm eating a sandwich, my mom's eating a sandwich, my brother's eating cereal. So my mom looks at my dad and says, how come you're eating tacos and I'm just eating a sandwich? And my dad goes, oh, you want tacos? Here, you can have a taco. And she goes, no, why can't we just both have tacos? And he said, this is all we have left. I didn't make enough tacos? You made enough tacos. These are leftovers. I made tacos? When did I make tacos? I don't remember making tacos. Note to self, don't mention that she made tacos before. So then we're like, you know what? Just, it's fine. You got a concussion. Don't worry about it. That's why you don't remember. How did I get a concussion? Dawn ran into you on a sled. Dawn, you did this to me? Yeah, I did. How long have I been out? Not long enough. That's one thing I know. So we have her read the paper. She looks up. She sees she's eating a sandwich. My brother's eating cereal. Why is David eating cereal during lunch? It's not lunch, it's dinner. Well, then why am I eating a sandwich during lunch? Because my mom is like, it's dinner time, we're having meat and vegetable and a starch. So the fact that this is not happening, my mom is like, what the fuck is going on here? She's completely concerned and then trying to get her emotions to calm down because we have an unbalanced dinner and we're eating ice cream in the middle of dinner because that was all we had left. So then she finally goes to bed around 11 o'clock. I remember walking into my parents' bedroom and my mom is pounding on my father. I don't understand how you could be sleeping right now when you won't tell me what happened. How could you be trying to sleep when I'm asking you what happened? Why won't you tell me what happened? And I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, I go to bed. And then I guess he wakes her up every couple of hours to make sure, that she's like alive and her brain's not bleeding or whatever. And then at one point she knocks on my door and I wake up and she's like, Dawn, yeah? Dad told me that you would tell me what happened. I was like, oh, he did. Okay. Well, come on in the bed. The doctor says it's a good idea to sleep because you got a concussion. How did I get a concussion? I was sledding down the hill and I hit you. Dawn, you did this to me? Yeah. And the doctor said that you need to sleep, which is a load of shit. But I really thought that if she just slept, then her brain would just reorganize. And that is exactly what happened. The next morning she woke up. I was kind of not watching her in the shower, but you know what I mean. I was in the bathroom with the shower curtain closed. We're not that kind of weird family, but anyway. So she's talking about having a concussion while she's in the shower, and I go, "You remember?" And she goes, "No, I don't remember." And I go, "But you just said that you had a concussion." "Oh, well, yeah, Dad told me." And I go, "And you remembered that Dad told you?" "Yes." "This is a miracle. This is amazing. We should be celebrating this. This is fantastic." And so then it just kept getting better. We drove to Albuquerque, which was the first time I'd been to Albuquerque was that day. And so on the way to Albuquerque, about every 15 minutes, she was resetting. And I remember she just kept saying, "The mind is so interesting. The mind is so fascinating." She would just say it like that, every 10 minutes or so when we were telling her the story about what happened. And because we finally were telling her what happened after all this time. And then about a week later, I get a call from her, and she goes, "Dawn, I can't remember anything from the vacation except for marshmallow chickens." And I'm like, marshmallow chickens? Anybody have a guess what she's talking about? Marshmallow chickens, the only thing she can remember. This was spring break. Marshmallow chickens. So, we were watching the Discovery Channel, and they had just gotten corporate sponsors. And they had two corporate sponsors. Neosporin and Peeps. And so we saw the same 2 commercials probably as many times as my mother asked what happened. And that embedded into her brain. So she remembered nothing except for marshmallow chickens. And that was it. That was all she could remember. And then eventually she remembered the hot air balloon ride and all the days started coming back. But she never remembered that day. And I was so grateful. I just kept saying, I go, this is a blessing that you don't remember that day, because it was not our finest hour. I mean, I left her downstairs crying in a puddle because I was just so grateful she wasn't asking what would happen. I thought, she's not asking me questions for a minute. Maybe she'll just cry it out and she'll get tired and she'll lie down and go to sleep. Like, I was literally thinking like she was an infant or something like that. So, I mean, it was terrible, but we had no training. So anyway, my mother is all better now. Everything is fine. And one other little note about the daffodils. So my brother was about maybe 4 years old, 3-4 years old at the time, and my mom had grown daffodils in the front yard. And she's really proud of herself. I guess they're not the easiest things to grow. And my brother thought, I know, I'll cut some flowers for Mom. So he cut off all the heads of all the dandelion, or all the daffodils, and put them in a bowl. And he's like, look, I cut flowers for you. And she was just like, thank you. Oh my God. I mean, it was this like, she had this beautiful setup, and like the piece de resistance was like all these daffodils in the middle, and now they're just like stems, you know, because my brother cut off all the heads of the daffodils for her. So I guess that was her favorite flower at that point. But anyway, thank you so much for letting me tell this story. I really appreciate it.